Evelyn had built her life from nothing. Raised in a small town, she had clawed her way into Nairobi's elite business world through sheer determination. Now, at 32, she was one of the youngest executives in Kenya's top real estate firm. But everything changed the day she received an unmarked envelope. Inside was a single, handwritten note. "You are not who you think you are. The truth is waiting in the island." This was a remote island on Lake Victoria. Evelyn's hands trembled. She had never been to the island, never even heard of it. Yet, something about the note unsettled her, awakening a strange, buried familiarity. She tried to ignore it, dismiss it as a prank. But over the next few days, unsettling things began happening. Her office computer locked her out of her own files. Bank accounts she never opened started appearing in her name. And then, her mother, a quiet, humble woman from the vibrant lakeshore, called her late one night. "Eve," her mother whispered, fear in her voice. "Don't go looking for answers. Some truths should stay buried." That was all she said before hanging up. Now, Evelyn had no choice. She had to go to the island. Evelyn arrived at the island on a misty morning. The island was small, covered in lush greenery, with only a handful of old colonial buildings standing near the shore. The locals stared at her as she walked through the village. Some whispered, others turned away. Finally, she found the person she was looking for, an elderly woman named Esther, the island's unofficial historian. "I need to know if my family has any connection here," Evelyn said. Esther looked at her for a long time before speaking. "You should not have come." Evelyn's frustration flared. "Why? What aren't you telling me?" The old woman sighed. "Come back tonight. There's something you need to see." That night, under the dim light of an oil lamp, Esther unrolled an old newspaper clipping. The headline sent a chill through Evelyn's spine. "Mysterious disappearance of the island's last heir, presumed dead." Beneath it was a black and white photo of a toddler. Her own face stared back at her. Evelyn's mind reeled. How was this possible? Esther explained. Decades ago, the island had been ruled by a wealthy, powerful family, the Clements dynasty. They owned the land, controlled trade, and lived in a grand estate atop the island's highest hill. But one fateful night, a devastating fire consumed the estate. The entire Clements family perished, except for their youngest daughter, who vanished without a trace. "You," Esther whispered. Evelyn's breath caught. No, it couldn't be. She had grown up at the lakeside, raised by a loving mother. Her life had been ordinary, difficult, but normal. But if this was true, her whole life was a lie. Determined to find the truth, Evelyn climbed to the ruins of the old Clements estate. Among the charred remains, she found something strange, an untouched, antique chest hidden beneath fallen beams. Inside, she discovered a faded family portrait and a legal document with her name on it. Before she could process it, a voice interrupted her thoughts. "You shouldn't have come back." Evelyn spun around. A man stood in the shadows, tall, with piercing eyes that seemed too familiar. "I was hoping you'd never return," he said. "Now, you've forced my hand." Her heart pounded. "Who are you?" The man stepped forward. "I am the rightful heir to the island," he said. "And you are in my way." Over the next few days, Evelyn unraveled the truth. The man, Daniel, was the son of the family's trusted advisor. After the fire, his father took control of the island, claiming there were no survivors. But he knew the truth. The real heir, Evelyn, had been secretly taken from the island as a child and placed with another family to keep her safe. Now, with her return, everything Daniel had inherited was at risk. He needed her gone, forever. But Evelyn wasn't backing down. This was her birthright, her family's legacy, and she was ready to fight for it. With the help of Esther and an unexpected ally, a lawyer who had been waiting for her return, Evelyn gathered evidence of her lineage. But Daniel had power, connections, and was willing to do anything to keep his stolen empire. The night before she was set to reclaim her inheritance, Evelyn received another note, slid under her hotel door. "Leave now, walk away, or regret it." She held the note in her shaking hands. She had come looking for the truth. Now, the truth could cost her everything. But Evelyn had spent her whole life fighting for what she wanted. She wasn't stopping now. The next morning, Evelyn stood before the elders of the island. With undeniable proof, she reclaimed her family's name. Daniel was forced to step down, his empire built on stolen wealth crumbling before him. As Evelyn stood at the ruins of her family's estate, she knew one thing. She had spent her whole life building her future. Now, she was reclaiming her past. And this was only the beginning. If this story captivated you, be sure to subscribe to Tales by Reddy for more thrilling stories such as this. Share your views in the comments below. See you in the next one.